Okay, we're back. Ahoy hoy, everybody. Happy to see you guys. Good to see you, Spinda. Sorry for last week being so late. I promised it would come back on the 15th, and then at whatever it was, 8 p.m. It's like, oh yeah, I still need to do it. Ugh. This video I'm cooking up, it's going to be so good. I'm really excited about it. It's an hour and a half long. And the audio for it is all done. Now it's just getting the visuals together. Hopefully out, soon. And I have a show. If anyone watching this is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, next week, July 30th, come see my band at the Park Theater. We're going to blast through some transcriptions today. We got some little fanfares and cues that'll be really fun. So let's listen to the Get Treasure Box fanfare. Okay, wait. Let's see here. What instrument was that even? Is it like... I think like generic brass. I might just find a brass. I know there is a generic brass staff. Yeah, there we go. I heard some snare drum, potentially a cymbal. Okay. Delete the piano. And do all the stuff you have to do that is boring on Sibelius. How is everybody doing? Is everyone having a good summer? Hello, Fortune's Jukebox. And all of you, Swords and Wolves and Louis 67. Not to leave anyone out here. It's triplets. Right? Yeah. And then this is a triplet too. Oh, that's a B natural though. That's interesting. So maybe I should put it like C sharp to D sharp, because it ends on a B, resolves to a B chord, B major. Let's see. I guess this is staccato. Oh yeah, you were right, David Adams. A to B flat to B. A, B flat, B. There's some fun little harmonized brass going on in there. Ba. Oh shoot. Triplets make Sibelius act weird with the voices. Let's find what those middle notes are. Oops. That doesn't sound right. Like, it makes sense if it would be this. But these middle notes don't sound right to me. What's the tempo? What is that, like 150? We'll do 152. I think that's pretty close. I'm a firm believer that your metronome markings should not be even, or like they should be what would be on a old school metronome. You know how those are always like 72, and then the next one you can get is 80, and then the next one you can get is 84 or whatever. You know, Not that, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like, your song shouldn't be at 151 beats per minute, because I don't know why. That's just how I feel. So the cymbals. That sounds so bad. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, and then was the snare drum do? It does like a. That's cool. Why does this sound like this? Huh, weird. Got a little roll. Oops. Little roll. Let's see. What am I missing? Am I missing? I'm missing something. Is there no root in any of these chords? Why does the snare sound so bad? What's going on there? Bizarre. I think that is just it. Just pretty sparse. Cool. Easy peasy. Should just write this sort of vibe in Latin, like all good classical composers. That is the play. That is definitely the play. Play it like that. You get it. You get it. I had so I played a show with the Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra of my arrangements of video game music in April. And so I did a big band arrangement of the Super Mario Brothers theme. And in the arrangement, I wanted to go into this kind of big, like, boom, chicka don't go shuffly thing. Ba-dum, ba 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 da ba-dum, ba 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 da 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 ba-dum, you know. And so in the chart, I wrote like Slinky's strip club vibe over that part, which everybody got immediately. It was like, oh yeah, perfect. You know, they totally got it. And then my bass player was practicing the music at home, apparently, and his girlfriend, who's not a musician, but like started taking piano lessons and was kind of interested in it. She was looking at the music and was like, Slinky strip club vibe. How could that possibly mean anything to you? Like, how could that possibly tell you how to play? I was like, well, you do it so that it feels like that. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know Latin, but I've been making click tracks for all the Kid Icarus Uprising music, and some of those tempos are goofy. Like, you'll get 121.5 in a track that loops for some reason. That is just infuriating. It's like, come on, man. 122 is no good. Or I guess it probably is like he's programming it in at whatever that would be, 143 or 243 for some reason. And then the click is like double the speed of the actual tempo of the music, you know. Oh, there is xylophone. You're right, Sushi Boy. Probably just doubling the melody. I don't really hear it until the last note. Excellent catch. I would not have caught that. I'm out of practice. Oops. And these are a roll. Let's see. Nice. Boom. Okay, so that's good. Send that off. I pre-made some of these files because I knew that they would take 2 seconds. Open treasure box. Here we go. Iconic. Classic. Oh, but you don't get the da-da-da-da. That's a different track. Okay. That's gonna. I maybe should put these all in one file. No, whatever. I already made the separate file. So, okay. So it starts with a string pad. So we'll get strings, reduction, ba-bam. I already forget what else there was. Ba-bam. Get rid of piano. We don't need that. Ba-bam. Appearance. At start. Full name of instrument. not at start. Short name of instrument. Harp. What is that? Hold on a sec. Well, okay. So get the string pad first. I might put it Q size since it's so small. What are we doing here? Let's do like 2 beats. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's like 2 bars plus. This isn't holding for a whole bar. So I might do it like this. I don't know if this is bad form or it looks bad or whatever, but actually maybe I'll include the cutoff rest bar too. That space is important. It's part of the music. You could argue. And then the bass, get the bass. Oh, do the Sibelius sounds sound terrible to you guys? There's something wrong with them. They're all tinny. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. Pardon my... That didn't help. Pardon my... Okay, let's see here. Audio engine options. Is this gonna ruin my audio on the stream here? Let's see. Hey, that fixed it. Okay, great. Oh yeah, okay. So the bass starts off in half notes and then oh, is it going up in whole steps? Hold on. No, it's not. Beautiful. Okay. So there's harp. Oh yeah, that's right. I need to get the other instruments. Let's get some harp in there. And there's definitely like flute or piccolo. Might do piccolo because it sounded pretty high. Not military piccolo. What's the difference? Just that it's in D flat. And there's some jangly stuff going on in the back too that I don't know what that would be. They're like bling, bling, bling. Maybe I'll just do like wind chimes, gentle wind chime tinkling. Okay. Let's do this again. And as everybody knows, it's just a whole tone. Oh wait, this should be a B flat. It's a whole tone run. Over like starting on the flat 7 of the bass note. So it's outlining a B7 to C7 to C sharp 7, D7, D sharp 7, E7. Building anticipation, very nice. Boo, boo, boo. Whoops. Now here, I really don't want... This kind of, like this bass line, chromatically you should write it D sharp to E, not E flat to E natural. That looks worse. But I really don't want to have an F double sharp in here. So I might just have the... Might just have it not match. You know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to make this landscape mode. There you go. Now everything will fit much nicer. Okay. Any reason I use Sibelius opposed to other programs? Because I know how to use it already. The program options when I was in music school were much less robust than they are now. Sibelius was like the best one, kind of definitively. So at the time, so that's what I got and learned how to use, and now that's what I use. So what is that little wind chime rhythm? It's kind of like it's kind of like, it's not like big runs through like Sibelius is doing though. It's just a little pling pling. Oh, that's not right. Oh, it's because I didn't cancel out these accidentals. That's why. Okay. Oh yeah, and then we got a accelerando. Accelerate. Okay. I like having that G. Okay, those wind chimes are too much. Right, I like having this G pedal point on top. That's cool. I think there's like a lower. It's more octaves of G. And it grows too. Everything grows. When does the flute come in? Just for the last two, eh? And then there's definitely like an oboe. Oboe playing in there somewhere too. Let's see. Oboe. Boo 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 doo. Oh yeah, and I gotta delete these rests too, don't I? Boom boom, so that everything lines up. Boom, okay. So he just comes in. Starting there. Oh, maybe it's not oboe. Maybe it's English horn. Because it's pretty low. Yeah. I'm going to change it to English horn because it's pretty low. English horn. That's a nice instrument. Okay. Nice. The wind chimes are, not the right sound, but whatever. That's good enough. Boom. Treasure box done. And then we gotta get the fanfare. Classic. Again, I might just do brass. Oops. Add every single instrument in Sibelius. Not finger cymbals. Come on. Cymbals. Snare. Boom. Okay. And then, oops. You cannot delete piano. Like if it's the only stave you have, which it is when you open up the score, and then you go in to add things and delete the piano at the same time that you're adding everything else you need, it will delete like all this. The title and everything is tied to the piano staff until you've added things, and then you go back in and you have to delete the piano. There's all these little workarounds like that I'm used to. Oh, there's a little timpani too. Let's get some timpani. This is just one bar of music. I am so glad we're past C battles. Those are brutal. What should I say? F sharp or G flat? Vote in the chat if you want this last chord to be a G flat chord or an F sharp chord. Oh, it's like an A flat 7 kind of thing, I guess. G flat, everyone's saying G flat? Okay, except for John Axon, sorry. Make these staccato. And accent them all, like maybe, or maybe not. Yeah. This is like well, I'll accent this note. Is there snare drum or just timpani? I think there's snare drum, but not like a big snare drum roll or anything. Let's see. No, that's a G flat note. So then what chord is this? Let's see. F sharp and G flat are the same note, but you write them, they look differently on the page. You know? Like an F sharp major looks a little uglier than a G flat major, because you have to have an A sharp in there, and no one thinks of A sharp notes as A sharps. They think of them as B flats by default, because that's so much more common. Okay, my ears need to lock in here. The last held note is, it is a notation preference, yeah. That's why I left it up to the chat, because it doesn't really matter. A lot of the times, your choice of enharmonics, that's the name for those, same note with two different names, your choice of enharmonics can visually show the direction of the line clearer. Like if you do, you know, E, F, G flat, G, B flat or something. This is really kind of tacky. But F sharp to G, the F is getting higher and then resolving to G. And that's what is happening musically. Even though this is technically the same series of notes, it doesn't look right. It looks like F is going up to G here and then twisting to a different G. But that's not how it feels. What's down there? So how many voices are we working with here? It might just be that. Is there a C up there? I don't think so. I think it's like this. Maybe I should put these as specific, like trumpets and trombone, because... What do you guys think? Because they don't sound like French horns, and these are French horn samples. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so trumpet. Oops, trumpet. Okay, I got to get out of all instruments. There's a million kinds of trumpet. I just want normal trumpet. Vanilla bass tier trumpet. Trumpet, not trumpet premium. I just want trumpet with ads, please. Okay. And then, of course, it's going to say trumpets. Trumpets can't play up there, please. Please, please, please. Who do you think they are? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, we got to fill in the rest of the chords. And we got to get the tempo. My goodness, for such a short little cue. I don't know what this would be. 132, I'm going to say. Oh, that's too quick. What about 108? That's pretty good. No, see, I haven't experimented with stem splitters for transcription, but I'm not opposed. I just haven't really looked around for one that actually works. I guess I have what was it? I feel like I did use one. I think I saw someone demo one or something. And I thought, oh, that'd be a good idea to use that. But for this kind of project, it's at least partially about training my ears too. But I'm not opposed to the idea of doing that for sure. Yeah, there you go. That sounds right. It's funny to just have this top note like all alone way up there. An actual trumpet player would hate you if you did that. Maybe this bottom one is a horn. I think it is. Okay, I'm going to add another step. Horn in F. Let me put it in the middle. And then... oh yeah, so this should definitely be C sharp to go with what I'm saying. Accent. Where's the accent? There it is. Okay. Like A sharp, like that. Even though I hate A sharps, this shows the line is rising. Yeah. Okay, and then you get a nice, you don't have G flat over E. This is an F sharp over E chord, which is much nicer. G over F, A flat over G flat. F over E flat. Boom. Whoops. Not that. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. That's done. That's sorted. What's next? Get small item. Let's get a small item. Oh, that's fun. Okay. Whoa. It's shocking sometimes when it isolates. Oh, the stem splitter isolates a bass line you've never heard before. I mostly use it as a last resort because I also want better ears. Yeah, that's the thing too. I would worry about being able to trust it. Like, if it's taking stuff out of the music, is it also taking stuff out of the part that I'm trying to hear? You know, probably not. Like for drums and stuff, you'd be able to tell, probably. Like it could, whatever. I don't know. I don't have any experience with it really. Do these quick cues use any common techniques besides chromatic or whole tone rising? Any other chord movements or rhythm things? I mean, I did a video on video game jingles a while ago, and I had a lot of conclusions about that question that I can't really remember now off the top of my head. It's like chromatic movement. Like one of my points is kind of like whether it goes up or down is a big part of it. Like sad ones, game over themes go down. You got something good themes go up. And so yeah, like that last one was a very simple figure, just chord, all major chords, moving up chromatically. Making them dominant chords like, A flat over G flat. Is an interesting choice. Like it's a very bright, striking kind of sound, and you want these things to sound striking. I was just reading an interview. One of these old Iwata Asks interviews with Koji Kondo talking about Mario music, and he was kind of talking about video game music in general, and he was saying that it's not like movie music at all. It's way more similar to writing music for commercials, because commercials just need to instantly put you in the right headspace for something, or like cue like a change, like boom, and here's a change. I was like, oh, that's so funny. That's true. If you have like a commercial where it's like do 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 happy little household, and then someone spills juice on the floor, womp womp, it's just like there's got to be something right there that's like, look, here's how you're supposed to feel about this, and then you'll mop it up with the new whatever the commercial is advertising, and so he was like talking about how that's his approach to video games music, is like the intro just has to set the mood immediately. These little fanfares is just like a little thing, just a short little cue to immediately put you in the right headspace. Like, that's so funny. That's exactly what it is. Because, yeah, movie music and video game music are sound and feel totally different. So it was interesting to have it put that way by the master. What do we do? Oh, get small item. Let's get a small item here. So there's a tuba. There's some trumpets, cymbals again. All these cues were in Ocarina of Time first. I think there was a snare drum. Let's see. Not transposing score. Don't need the piano. We just need the trumpets. I wonder how long it took him to come up with these. I wonder if it was just the first thought, like, you got a small item? Okay. Ba 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 da ba, or if he like thought about it more than that. Boom ba ba da boom. Boom ba ba da da. I'm gonna do it like this. Keep it to one bar again. Oops. Got the top and bottom here. P. F. It's just a little symbol. Cha. Is that a snare or a timpani roll underneath there? I guess my mini player got on screen for a second. Stay in the second monitor. Come on. It's hard to tell. Either a low snare or a timpani. Or a not very clear timpani. I'm going to do snare though. We got tuba covering the bass note. Oh, too fast now. And let's see, we need I don't know. A little bit fast. 78. That sounds pretty good. Okay, then what are the other notes in the chords? Probably just an A over. I'm hearing. That definitely sounds right. Let's see. Gonna make these louder too. Bomb. Oh, is there an F in there? I think there is. Okay, so what's the bottom note of the trumpet voices? No, there's horns again. There's horns. There's one horn at least. Horn, an F. Put it in the middle. I know that's not proper score order, but I want to see. It might just be doubling. Oops, the trumpets. Okay, I use the notation software known as Sibelius. I don't hear another horn. I think that's it. Maybe there's another horn. I think there might be. Is the melody doubled an octave down? Because that's what I would do if I was like arranging this for real instruments. Like the melody sticks out, so I feel like it is. Yeah, keeping it. So this is interesting. D minor over G. Do we put D minor over G or G7 sus2? Because that's kind of more functionally helpful. G7 sus2 is weird though. You never see that. D minor over G. I guess this is like D minor G A 2 5 6 or whatever, like deceptive cadence. So I'll do D minor over G. Nice, boom. We got a small item. Okay, and now I'm not gonna leave you without doing one real tune, one real transcription. So we're gonna do Dragon Roost Island. I have transcribed this before, but not in full score form, and I think I'm just gonna do it from scratch again. Just for fun. Oh, and because, I should have looked this up before I started the stream. And then my video on Dragon Roost Island, I called this instrument a mandolin, the like guitar. And it's not a mandolin. One of the comments mentioned what it actually is. It's like an Argentinian instrument or something. I can't remember now though. It's a bona fide bop. Well, okay, so there's like pan flute. This is why okay. There's no pan flute? Pan pipes, I guess? Bass. Upright bass. Here, I'll do world instruments. See if this jogs my memory. None of these strike a chord. That's short. That's a short little loop. I thought it was longer than that. Well, regardless, I'll probably do a mandolin sound anyway, and then just change the name when I remember what the name of the actual instrument is called. Mandolin. There are castanets for sure. Castanets, not castanets, apparently. Get the piano out of here. We don't need that. Get out of here. Ba-boom. Boom. Okay. Charango? Is that what it is? Oh ho ho. We might be onto something here, boys. Okay, let's see. Heck yeah. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay, and I'll fill in whatever other instruments I've missed as we go. Ooh, gotta be way faster than that. Oh, but it's in 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. So we gotta do boom like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So what? I don't know what that is. Like 150. Boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, bop. 151.5 probably. Oh, a little bit slow, but not far off. Nice. That sounded great. Okay, and then the castanets are clacking away here too. Oh, there's also something else. Chut. What is that? That's funny. So, you know, there are two castanets, hard panned, one right, one left, doing slightly different rhythms. Clackata. And then there's like, it sounds like a brush on something, brush on a snare, you know, brush on some sort of drummer. There. I don't know what to call that. I don't really want to put a whole drum set staff on there just because it's just one line. Other unpitched percussion. If anyone knows what to call this. Ho, Meister Lodestone. I have done a video on the Wind Waker staff credits theme. It beautiful piece of music. I guess what does Gord sound like? Oh, I didn't add it. Ooh, it's relatively recent. Oh, it's like a shaker. So I don't want that. Okay, well, here's what I'll do. I'll do cha-cha-cha. Yeah, exactly. I'll do I'll turn the volume way down, and then I'll note with brush. Except it doesn't come in at the beginning, does it? Oh, how did I know that whole chord? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I wasn't really thinking about it. Oh, because there's a lower note than I thought. Boom, boom. So it's kind of, maybe I should, well, whatever. I knew because you find the top note and then you can hear bomb. That's the tonic of the chord. Bomb. So it's like, well, if the top note is D and it sounds like the tonic of the chord, it must be a D chord. But I didn't really listen to hear that, yeah, the voicing was more of a full guitar kind of voicing than just a triad. Whew. Oh no, this is going to be a nightmare to do the percussion parts, actually. I bet there's just like a little tiny variation. You know, 3 bars in the whole thing that are not adhering to the pattern. Like, so. Like that. Okay. So let's see. Oops. Maybe I should mess with the stems too. Yeah, exactly. 1 extra flam note in bar 472. And I'll miss it and then be so embarrassed. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, what should I do with these hard left and right castanets? Because one's just kind of keeping the beat, and then the other one's accenting the, like, I want to live in America, that thing, you know? I am gonna mess with the beaming. Why the heck not, eh? Because it will add 20 minutes to your transcribing time, you say? Well, you're right, but I'm still gonna do it. Okay. Double bar line up here. Bam. What music software is that? Oh, someone got it. Thank you, Fortune's Jukebox. Oh, jeez, okay. Oh, it is time for the 3-4 or 6-8 argument. I'm a 3-4 camp kind of guy. Well, no, some stuff isn't 6-8, but I feel like if there's any, here's the thing. What do you call it? A compound time is the one where the subdivisions are groups of 3, like 6-8 or 12-8 or whatever. Mathematically, 3-4 time or 6-8 time lends itself really well to a polyrhythmic sort of dual beat where you can feel the dotted quarter note and the quarter note at the same time. That's a very like African rhythmic concept, is like interlocking these two rhythms together. That feels good. It has rhythmic momentum. And like when you do that sort of polyrhythm in 4/4 time, it doesn't line up within one bar, so you have to reset it somewhere. If you're like da ga 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 ga, sorry, if you're like 1 2 3 4, boom 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 boom, you know, you have to like reset it so it's more clear where the main beat is. But in 3/4, because it's an odd number of beats, or you know, I don't know why, I guess, but it's because you have 6 eighth notes in the bar, and 6 is evenly divisible by 3 and 2. 8 is not divisible by 3 and 2, so that's why. But so you can have both beats equally weighted, and then you don't know whether to write it out as 3 or 6. But I don't know. I just hate, like, 6/8 and 12/8 seems so clunky to me to write out. 12/8 especially. 6/8's not so bad. Wind Waker has so many bops because it's the best game ever made, is why. I don't know. Maybe it was like, because it's the first Zelda game that Koji Kondo didn't do the whole soundtrack for. Majora's Mask, I think Toru Minagishi did like 2 tracks on, a couple boss tracks. But this is the first one where it was like mostly Kenta Nagata and Toru Minagishi and Hajime Wakai working on it, and then Koji Kondo also worked on it, but he wasn't like doing most of the music. So I wonder if they were like, we got to step up our game. You know, if they were like, okay, like what the Mario equivalent would be Super Mario Galaxy, because Koji Kondo did all of Super Mario Sunshine. Galaxy was the first one where it was mostly other people doing the music. And that one, they clearly pulled out all the stops, you know, got the whole orchestra and everything. So I wonder if there's some pressure on like the first, you know, it's like, okay, Koji Kondo's giving you the reins here. Do a good job. Live up to his legacy. I wonder if everyone was firing on all cylinders trying to live up to Mr. Kondo for this one. Maybe that's why there's so many bangers on this soundtrack. Who knows? 3/4 is much better for polyrhythms. Yeah, that's true. 6/8 makes writing out the polyrhythms worse or harder. Obviously, if you have like a boom doom doom clack boom 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 clack boom boom like ballad, it's like, yeah, that's in 6/8. Like you want to notate that in 6/8. But for something that is ambiguous, I always lean towards 3/4. 6/4. Oh, true. Wow, we should do 12/2. 12 half notes per measure. Right? That's what, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, where am I now? Oh, this guy does it. Chat. That's important. You can't miss that kind of thing. Okay. Oh, that's funny. There's a new Mario Brothers Wii interview where Koji Kondo shakes his head at the new guy constantly. I want to see that. That's funny. I know. I saw that when they're doing new Super Mario Brothers for the DS, he wasn't gonna do any of the music, and then they kind of came to him and said, like, this main theme doesn't sound like Mario. And he was like, well, I'll just do it. And then he just, popped out a perfect Mario theme. Like, yeah. Must be nice to have him around the office. I kind of feel like I'm not hearing the brushes doing the accent pattern. I think they're just kind of chugging away. But the castanets, what are the castanets doing? Oh, jeez. Okay, so I think it's doing this. Hopefully this is the loop. Hopefully these 4 bars. I know they're not, but hopefully that's the castanet loop. Okay, and then the charango is ding 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 ding. So what is that? G minor to F is what it is. I already know this tune too, so this is, kind of cheating. What's the low note? Boom. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on. Is this 2 guitars? Because the low note is just doing like bum, bum, boom, 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 I guess he could be like hitting the whole chord on the beat and then just strumming, boom, chicka dum. I can't figure out. The camera's like inverted to my real life. Chicka dum. You know what I mean? Like the high notes. It could be 1 guitar, is what I'm saying. And these high little cha-chicka-da-tas are just on the high strings, Okay, anyway. I don't think Koji Kondo ever got high. He really does not strike me as the guy, as someone who would partake. From reading a bunch of interviews with him. Oh man, this is gonna be a nightmare. Okay. Done to get it done. Oh, hold on here. I gotta zone in for a sec. Oh, would it be so lazy to do slash chords? Like, there's such boring voicings. Like that, and just say F. It probably would be bad for him. But it's like, well, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to complain. I'm being a baby. Let's get the key signature in here, too. Why don't we do that? Oh, it's not the key of F, though, is it? It's the key of G minor. G minor. Read. That or washboard? Oh, true. Does sound like a washboard. Well, whatever. I didn't write my note with brush. This might be a cruel question, but what's your favorite song from the Wind Waker soundtrack? You know what? What weirdly gets stuck in my head all the time is the boss music. The Calais Demos, the giant, like in the forest, Forbidden Forest boss, the giant flower monster guy. The like Bum 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 ba ba da ba da da way da. It's like so sick. But that is like not a good answer. The right answer is like Errol's theme, or you know, I mean, the Great Sea theme is so good. It's one of these things where it's like the good ones you've listened to so much that it feels like too obvious to choose them. Mulgara's a great one. Oh, there are too many to choose from. I really like no, okay. The best one is bringing back the old Link to the Past castle theme. Ba ba da ba da ba ba. Farewell Hyrule King. That's what it is, and then there's like these piano arpeggios going over top. It's just like such a gorgeous rearrangement. Okay, enough procrastinating. Let's see. You see what I mean? Like, I want to have these be correct. But really, like, if you're playing the instrument, you're not thinking about which notes you're playing. This is not a classical guitar part, you know? You're doing the rhythms. Like, it's all intuitive, right? So maybe I should do slash chords. Maybe I'll do, like, okay. Hear me out. Start with the voicing. And then do slash chords from there. Hey? How's that feel? Does that feel like cheating? Because the voicing, then you get the voicing, which is, you know, pretty standard, pretty boring, but still. No, see, in the intro, spin to the brush sounds like a brush on something. But then once everything else comes in, you can't really hear it anymore. But it's like, why would it just be in for 2 bars? It must be still in there somewhere, you know? I don't know. What's a slash fic? I don't know what that is. Okay, and then we just have to worry about the OBS notifications. Looks like I'm getting one right now. Okay. Okay, nice. And then these rhythms aren't really just da 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 da. It's kind of like da 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 da. You know, like da da da. It's clearly just like fingers brushing the strings. So. Oh, romance. Clearly, I'm not a big romance book reader, on account of I am a man. Your channel is outstanding, sir. Thanks for the work you put into your great videos. Thank you so much, Legal. Really appreciate your generosity and your Canadian dollars. That's great. Oh, the pan flute. Ooh. Ba, boop, ba. Boom, boom, ba. Do I need to put? Yeah, I do. Did I put a tempo on this? I did. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta put staccatos on these. So there's 2 pan flutes, or pan pipes, I suppose is the technical term. Okay. I guess maybe I should not put a double bar line there, because I'm going to put one here instead. Okay, and so then we're going to copy paste this Hello? Right? Except there's a little Greystone I missed. Any chance you'd make another channel where you could about different music mediums other than video games? Yeah, you know, I had thought about that a lot, and I started dipping my toe into that pool with a couple videos. I did a video about Joe Hisaishi and Ghibli music, and it just got like copyright struck to hell, and it is only available on my Patreon now. It's not behind a paywall, but just like you can't put the video up anywhere else without it getting copyright struck. I did a video talking about the Spider-Man game, the PS4 Spider-Man game that I was bringing in examples from other like superhero movies, because obviously superhero movie music was a big inspiration on the Spider-Man game music, but that got copyright struck to hell too. So it's like, oh, I see. Video game music is in this kind of special zone where you can put it in your YouTube video and you won't get copyright struck like 90% of the time. I didn't realize when I was making the channel what a benefit that would be. But I mean, like, how do guys like guys that talk about pop music get around it? I guess they just play the song on their piano or whatever. And it's like, you know the song, so you can fill in, you know. Or like Rick Beato has those videos where he has to re-record the whole song to have a section of it in his top 10 video or whatever. Which, whatever, we could do that, but... I would love to have just like a jazz solo transcription and analysis channel. That would be really fun. Not as big an audience for that, I don't think, but if we're gonna do this, let's do it right, eh? London Dorado. Is there a grace note there? Let's see. No grace note. Da. And then this is the change to a B flat chord. Okay, so let's do, what should we do first? Guitar rhythm or whatever, triangle rhythm? Maybe we'll do that first. Or maybe I'll just, no, I'll do that first. Oh yeah, we need a Wind Waker sound font rap beat. I'll get right on that. My name is Link and I'm here to say, as someone who sucks at reading sheet music, I'm sitting here in absolute awe of how quick and clean you're transcribing this. Well, thank you. All the theoretical concepts are the same, even if it's just video game music, and most of us know games with music that is better than most non-game stuff. That's true. I mean, video game music is a where the energy is. I would say there's really not a lot of appetite for instrumental music in the modern world, except for video game music. That seems like the place where a lot of the energy is. Random question: what color was the GameCube you played the Wind Waker on? What color was mine? I think mine was black too. I didn't have the classic purple. No, I had a silver GameCube. Yeah, that's right. That's funny. That takes me back. I feel like jazz solo transcriptions have a very small but very hardcore audience. That's true. Probably the people who are there, you know, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of kind of stiff competition in a small space with jazz too, though. Like, there's a lot of people that know a lot more than me. There's an old Neil Peart quote, the drummer for Rush, rest in peace, where he was talking about how he wanted to be a jazz drummer and he loved Buddy Rich, like, as a kid. And then when he got a little older, he thought, the pond of rock drummers is a lot bigger, but it's not quite as deep. And so he, like, went into rock drumming because he was intimidated by the world of jazz drumming. I'm like, that's so funny. And then he's, like, widely regarded as one of the best rock drummers to ever live. Like, I wonder what he would have sounded like if he had turned into, like, a jazz snob. And he definitely would not have been playing arenas all over the world, but although whatever, in the 70s, jazz was big in the 70s, maybe he could have. I like how the percussion and melody are basically rhythmic in verses of each other, giving it a nice groove. Hey, that's true. Blah, da, 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 ba, ja, ja, da, da. And then the groove is da, ja, 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 ja. That's funny. I didn't notice that. There's a study somewhere about how any TikTok, Instagram music clip gets a boost if you include some transcription of it at the... Oh, that's interesting. At the bottom of the video. People like transcriptions, eh? That's cool. Your GameCube was white and rectangular and had these weird remote controllers. Sounds like a real revolutionary GameCube. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So let's get the guitar rhythm. So it's kind of like do. Let's see. Aha, okay, great. That wasn't so bad. I'm going to guess... I guess I'm going to stereotype jazz drummers, but isn't all they do is hit the ride cymbal and a swing style rhythm? That's all they do. That's all they do. Easiest gig in the world. And then, yeah, this is up to... Oops. Let's get the melody. Oh, there we go. This kind of chord structure, the guitar is tuned perfectly for this kind of chord structure, where it's a root, fifth, root, and then the triad, 3, 5, 1. And you got the root on the bottom and the top, a nice little triad sandwich, and then like big more open intervals on the bottom. It's like the most stable way to build a chord. So that's just, you can assume that any guitar chord is that, unless proven otherwise, Do I have any preference between digital or physical sheet music? Physical, I guess. Whenever I play gigs with sheet music, I use paper. I don't know. It's kind of there's interesting pros and cons. The digital thing is obviously better, I think, if you're playing with music a lot. You don't have to figure out how to store or organize or find physical sheets of paper. If you're playing outside, it's not going to blow away. If you get a foot pedal, you don't need to actually turn the page with your hand. You can keep playing. If you have an instrument where you need two hands all the time to play, that's big. Drums are kind of a nightmare. You can't, I wouldn't be able to use a foot pedal or my hands to turn the paper. But drum, I just usually don't use music. Or if I have music, like, a lot of the time what I'll do when I get drum charts for a gig is I'll go and like make my own drum chart. because drum charts are always kind of a joke anyway. It's like, play however you think you should play. Here's sort of the form of the tune, you know. So if I can squeeze it down into one sheet of paper or get a couple of different songs on one sheet of paper, that's what I'll do, and then I'll just have, you know, I won't need to do any music changing or page turning, I mean. Page turn to the kick pedal and just like only have one beat of one measure on the page at a time, so that every time you hit the kick drum it changes to the next measure. Like those it'd be like they should do this, you know, that thing where they test how fast you can read, where they just show one word at a time on the screen and then they like up the speed until you can't read what's going on anymore. They should do that with sheet music, where it's one beat at a time and you just like try to hold on. That'd be fun. Oops. That's not what I want. I don't want that either. There you go. Get back to normal size. It holds it for the full 4 bars. And then the bass, just the best bass entrance in history. I think he's not giving these an 8th note rest before. I think he's holding them right up to the next note on account of it's a computer and not a guy playing actual pan flute. Let's see. Excuse me. I had the privilege to play my 90s games with the Korg X5DR module. Wing Commander, Privateer, and Dark Forces are completely different games with just the 40p FM chip. Clearly, I'm not familiar with the terminology. That's very cool. That's so funny. Like, you know, I don't know much about non-Nintendo hardware, to be honest, but like the Famicom, the NES in Japan having the extra sound chip, and in later models like Castlevania 3, and even like Metroid, there's a bunch of games where you can go and find like the NES soundtrack with just the 3 sound channels plus white noise, or the version of the soundtrack with a couple extra channels. It's cool how different they sound, like how much better, how much more robust the music is. Castlevania especially, because you get that nice fat bass. Oh, so sick. Okay, so let's fill in the other stuff here. So the chords are A flat, I'm just gonna copy paste the castanets for the whole thing, and then at the end we'll go through, listen through the whole track, and pay attention to the percussion and try and tweak anything that needs tweaking. Hold on here. Okay. Don't kaka don't liat that. Yeah. Again, I feel weird notating these as 16th notes when they're so obviously not. They're so obviously like something like this, but it's really not that precise either. So I don't know. Ooh, that's fun. Not G major. Don't. Something like that. Let's see if that's right. Boom chigunga doom chigunga doom. Oh, so it's this kind of rhythm, but an E flat chord. Doing that for copy pasting purposes. Okay. Have you seen jazz pan flute? I've never seen someone's head move like that. Have you had it? Damien Drakehichi playing Donna Lee. Wow. Is that? No, I've never seen that. That's crazy. I can't imagine. I can't believe that is possible. I have seen someone play Donna Lee on recorder, which is very funny. And what's the guy's name? The guy who played harmonica with Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, doing like bebop harmonica playing. That's crazy too. I just can't imagine. It's like you're working so much harder. It would be easier to just learn, you know, how to play the saxophone or something. You know what I mean? Like, I guess whatever. If you're doing that, you're in it for the love of the game. You just love playing pan flute. But I can't imagine the stiffness of neck that would occur after. So he does a little pickup note to the bar there. Yeah. Whoo, whoo, that bass player's on fire. So he's doing the pan flute bass line, but just way low down. The pan flute is still doing the pan flute bass line as well. Oops. Kicking something under my desk. Okay. So let's see. With any luck, a lot of the stuff we can just copy paste, and the rest of the tune won't take nearly as long. Boom. You know what? He leaves that rest. Playing bass, the groove is all in where you cut the note off. Boo. If your note cut off can be in time, then it'll groove, you know. Boo. A little D up to D minor instead of F. That's cool. Do way you. What a great bass line. Let's see. No, that's too cramped. We'll just do this. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, and then the guitar part. Okay. What's the guitar doing? 90s PC sound cards had similar sound capacity to the NES chips. SNES got a huge upgrade, which PCs did not get until wavetables and sound fonts. Oh, interesting. So Super Nintendo was ahead of the curve, eh? Okay, so it's almost this rhythm. We can take this. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Oh. Oh yeah, okay. I was in the wrong place. Let's see. Don't. Like that, okay. But professional level hardware, MT32, Roland Korg, etc., could achieve incredible sound, far exceeding any chips, closer to CD quality, but quite pricey. Only pros would own gear like that. Oh, I see. Interesting. So you could run it through. Man, that's so cool. I did not grow up with. I'm not a PC gamer at all. I didn't mess with that at all. And also, I guess it was a little before my time. The big PC games, Doom and Quake and stuff like that, right? I'm a Nintendo fanboy through and through. Let me double check, make sure I got the pan flute right. Okay, here's what we're gonna do now. We are just going to copy paste the head and then add the bass and see if it works. And we'll follow along and see how much we have to change. Okay. So starting from here. Let's find it. Oh, so he's going bow bow. Bow bow dee dom. Okay, so far so good. Whew. Whew. He's got low, I guess he's got that low C extension on this MIDI bass. Wait, put the little slide in. Wait, boom, boom. Was that it? Wait, boom, ba-dum, doom. Right, and then shifts to a C major here, eh? And then an A flat, if memory serves, over here. Let's see. Yeah. Whew. Nice. Walk down to A flat there. Boom, boom, but wait up, doom. Let's see. What is this line here? What the heck? Boom. Oh, sorry, my face is covering this bar that I'm working on. Yeah, and then G. And then we get to the next section there. B section, I guess. Okay. Okay, so let's give this, we got the bass. Let's give this a listen through for the guitar chord stuff. Where are we here? Okay. Oh, no. Hold on here. Here we go. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I wonder if your neck can move more precisely. Small movements. Probably not, right? Anyway. Oh, hello, Mr. 8-Bit. Have I seen the Odyssey? No, I have not seen the Odyssey. I want to, though. I heard... It's one of those things where, like, you hear... I've heard good things, and then I've also... Just people have been complaining about it nonstop since it came out. So I'm like, well, it must be good to inspire that much, passion. That passionate of complaining. And a variety of complaints, too. When I do see it, I will pester you about the OSD. Okay. Please do. Keep me accountable. Is the music good? Is it Ludwig again? I do like Christopher Nolan, but I never saw Oppenheimer. I never saw Tenet. I kind of am a bandwagon Nolan fan where I loved Inception, loved Memento. Insomnia is a great movie. What's the other? Following. I watched his first ever movie a long time ago. I don't remember it very well though. Don't you get that down? There's a new rhythm. Let's see where the bottom notes of this guitar are. There's not a low C, is there? Yeah, there is. Oops. Here's what I'll do. Dum, chicka chicka dunk gong. Don chicka chicka down dong. Okay, and then what's this groove? Whoa, okay, I lost it. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see. The accents are so interesting. Interesting, eh? Let's get our percussion and our pan flute loop going. Let's see if we can just copy paste this and then do the bridge. I'm working on music theory videos, including some about video game music, and I was wondering what kinds of things you personally enjoy seeing in music theory videos on YouTube. Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. To be honest, I don't watch tons of music theory videos on YouTube because it kind of feels like bringing my work home with me. I like watching stuff about music I like. I like seeing robust transcriptions. If you can highlight something that is hard to notice somehow visually or isolate the audio or something, that's cool. Something I like doing, it's harder to do, but I think it makes for a better video for my stuff, is if I can make a version of a track without like kind of A/B test a music theory idea, you know? Like, oh, this rhythm makes it feel exciting. Can you make a version of the track that doesn't use that rhythm, and is it not exciting? And then you can see, here, look, this is how exciting it makes it. Sometimes the difference is pretty subtle, though, so you feel like you're talking out your ass, even though, you know, little tiny details do matter. But that's always fun. Excuse me. Yeah, tell your big band bass player, Spenda, be like, so have you checked out Kenta Nagata? The bass playing of Kenta Nagata? Oh, you haven't? Oh, you should really go check the recording. You should really go check the original recording. Like, just be a total douche. Where are we here? Okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, boom. Like this, I believe. Don't. Okay. Oh, and we're missing some melody here, actually. Yeah, so hold on. That's such a cool, like, holding the G through this E flat, C major, A flat shift is so sick. Tie it all together. Boom, beep, boom. There's no slide on that one. D minor 7. Put these at D minor 7. That's such a sick little reharm. Adds so much, even though it's pretty simple. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. Should I do that so you can see where he cuts off the notes? I don't think it. Well, maybe I will. I already did, so. Beep, bum, 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 bum. Now I'm cheating because I already know the melody. Is being short is important. 1, 2, Buddha. Bum, 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 bum. Is that right? Let's see. Okay. Another 4-bar hold, this time on a C note. Okay. And then this will probably be the loop point. Hello, Wetfoot Lobby. WTF Tobby? Hello, sorry, not making fun of your name. Or I shouldn't be. I'm trying to learn how to improvise on jazz tunes, but I struggle to both think of a melody and make sure that it flows into the next chord well. Any advice? Okay, so speaking as someone who like plays drums, but I have been trying to learn how to, you know, solo on guitar and piano, mostly guitar, for, you know, quite some time. just as a hobby. I'm not like in the shed 8 hours a day trying to figure it out, but it's fun to kind of chip away at like, can I get a little better at this? And yeah, it's funny because it's like you can know all your scales. I can play all my scales on guitar, no problem. And when it comes to like improvising a solo that's slower and more lyrical, like no problem, I can do it. But once you get into the eighth notes, it becomes just so hard instantly. Like just you freeze up, you know. And I think it really is. I found the most success personally in my hobby jazz improv time in just kind of banking a bunch of phrases. And like I know I have like 3 phrases that I have worked my fingers on enough that I can just rip them out of like every major 7 chord I can play this stock thing, every minor chord I can play this stock thing. And so I think the game is more about having enough of those that you can get through a whole solo and not repeat one than actually having an idea. And then like once you can do that, it's like so if you can go like, ba ba doo ba doo ba dee ba dee ba doo ba doo ba dee do ba ba doo ba doo ba dee ba, doo ba doo ba doo da, have your licks that are just like very boxy, like this one, then this one, then this one. Once you can go through a whole form with those, then go through the whole form with those, but try and connect them. So ba ba doo ba doo ba dee da dee da dee da dee da doo da doo doo, like add in notes that aren't part of the lick that connect 2 licks together. Once you can do that, then I feel like you're getting closer to like actually improvising, using language, using vocabulary. People are like, I don't want to just play licks. It's like, yeah, no one wants to hear just licks, but no one wants to hear you speak without using words. You got to use words that exist that people know so that you can express something. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for the super chat, MC Slowpoke. Man, this is the most super chats I've ever gotten one stream, I think. This is very, very cool. Appreciate you. I've been working on remixing those phrases, starting on different chord tones. Yeah, exactly. And I think the more of these phrases you learn, I wouldn't learn licks. I wouldn't go find like a PDF of 20 jazz licks online. I think you're supposed to learn them from recordings because the articulation of the lick and is just as important as the notes, and that stuff is hard to notate. Like if you go like boo ba doo ba doo ba ba doo, it's like doo ba doo ba doo ba doo ba doo. Sounds bad. It's gotta be like boo ba doo ba doo ba ba doo. You gotta get the accent and the phrasing right. So it's like, yeah, you gotta learn this stuff from recordings to sound authentic, and then you start to notice there's lots and lots of similar patterns between different phrases of like, oh, these kind of 10 licks that Charlie Parker plays all the time all end the same way or all have the same kind of turn in it. And then you can start incorporating these smaller bits and pieces into your playing instead of just like always, here's my 2-bar idea chunk and then another 2-bar idea chunk, You start to be more fluid with it. I imagine. I am not fluid with it yet, but I the struggle is real. I know what you're talking about. Okay, let's do the bass line for the bridge next. Music is such a max brain power activity. Yeah, it really is. That's what's so fun about it, though. Let's see, where are we here? Boom, beam, boom, dee, boom. Is that last note a B flat? Let's see. Excuse me. Yes, it is. Excuse me. Whoo! Boom. Oh, is this the same lick as before? Let's see. But wait a do. Oh yeah, okay, so let's just copy this. Let's copy all this and see if it works. Ooh. That bar is not the same in the bass, at least. Is it still an A flat there? C major, A flat. Oh, interesting. Okay. Boom, gaga, boom. And then I guess we'll do it like this. And then it's the oh no, I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. Right? I feel like I messed something up here. It seems like the bar numbers are not adding up. Yeah, I feel like my improv is a blend of stock phrases and little lyrical segments and trying to blend the two. Yeah, totally. I think it takes I think it's like, it takes till you're a true master to be able to sort of think about the eighth note lines the way that you think about lyrical segments. Like, be able to have that stuff so in command that you can just play what you hear. I think that takes a lot of playing licks or playing stock phrases to develop. Do you think music taste is entirely subjective? No, I don't. It's not subjective at all. It's subjective the way that your taste in food is subjective. Like, I don't like mushrooms very much, but sometimes I do. It's like, you know what it is? It's I love pizza. So even bad pizza, I'm like, great, I'm in. I don't really like mushrooms. So okay mushrooms, I'm like, I'd rather not eat it. I don't like it. But great mushrooms, you have a steak and like nice mushrooms on top. Yeah, I'm in. I'm still in. Everybody, like, I don't know. The whole like art is subjective thing makes me so annoyed because everybody understands what taste is when it comes to food. That's where the term comes from, obviously. Where it's like there's objective quality to food. Nobody's gonna sit here and say like, well, I like Taco Bell better than, the fine dining. So that's just my taste. That's just subjective. Fine dining's not better. It's just if you like it more, great. It's like, no, it is better, obviously. There's so much more craftsmanship that goes into it. And it's fulfilling a completely different purpose. Yeah, so there's taste. Like, if you're not, like, I don't like reggae. The best, grooviest reggae in the world I could bop to, But, like, mediocre reggae, I'm like, I'm out. But you give me mediocre jazz fusion, I'm in. I'm all in, baby. Even bad jazz fusion, I'm like, okay, let's hear this out. But no, it's not, there's still objective quality at play. Did I get such good relative pitch from just doing transcriptions? Yeah, pretty much. I was pretty brutal at this stuff when I started out transcribing video game music. It's just reps. I was wondering, in what kind of situations do you usually listen to video game music? Like, do you put it on while cooking? Sometimes I do. I do, researching for videos. I have to sit down and like make time to actually listen to music too. So sometimes I'll be just like having music on and taking notes and stuff, or a lot of the times I'll just jump right into transcribing. Kind of skip through soundtracks on YouTube until I hear something that sounds cool and transcribe it or stuff like that. Yeah, I don't, I obviously have the music on when I'm playing a game, but usually when I'm like playing a game to have fun, I'm trying not to overanalyze it too, because that's not relaxing then, and that's why I play games now. Art is subjective, but you can evaluate objectively. Art is subjective, but you can evaluate it objectively with respect to a particular standard and or standards entail craftsmanship. Yeah, I mean, I guess there is sort of a implicit framework of being a human being on planet Earth that I think it's okay to just take for granted. But I think if you in the academic world, you're not allowed to even take that for granted. You have to explicitly be like, as a human being on planet Earth, this is what I think, But I think it's important to value beauty and goodness. Hot take. Okay, wait, yeah, I'm listening for bass fills now. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, here's what I'll do. There's just an extra 2 bars that are not in the form that I copied. I value anchovies and bebop. That's a good combo. That's a good combo for sure. Bebop. Bebop. Ba-doo-ba-ba-doo-doo-ba-doo-doo. It's like if you don't have objective standards, if you don't have objective standards of quality, then there's no reason to allow in outsiders into the music. Like, there's no reason for the Classical Academy to acknowledge the greatness of Charlie Parker, Like, in 1940, the very white and elitist Classical Academy did not want to acknowledge Charlie Parker or jazz music. They specifically did not acknowledge it as serious music. But composers did, like Shostakovich, lots of classical composers were super interested in that and like recognized the greatness of bebop musicians because they were thinking in terms of objective craftsmanship and beauty and musical value. So it's like, yeah, it's nice to be like music subjective, and then I don't have to judge anyone for their taste or whatever. And no one gets to judge me for my taste. It's like, that's comfortable, but it's too easy to just ignore or dismiss objective breakthroughs by people that you don't want to associate with, unless you know what I'm saying. I hope that makes sense. I'm learning Billy's Bounce right now. Hell yeah, get it. Billy's Bounce, awesome. The more I learn about the science of vowel shapes. Spinda. Oh, I didn't realize you were studying that sort of thing. No, vowel shapes and psychoacoustics. The more I realize what sounds good is more science than anything. Hey, that's cool. Is jazz just random notes to some people because they're not knowledgeable of the quick rules? Yes. It's you have to be sort of not ingratiated. You have to be. It's like anything. If you listen to Mozart in 2026 and you have no understanding of classical music or history, it's not going to make sense. If you don't know the form of a sonata, then it's just like, why is he choosing the next note why is he choosing the next note? This makes no sense. It's super hard to follow, especially for like a 17-minute piece of music. You need to do a little bit of historical research. You need to do a little bit of theoretical learning to understand, like, okay, this is the theme, and then we're going to get the development, and then come back to the theme, And knowing the structure of it allows you to engage with it. It's like watching an old movie. It's like old movies can be boring unless you sort of understand what was going on at the time and the limitations, and you have to sort of watch a few and get into it and get used to the language they use. And like reading old books, it's like, yeah, it takes a little bit to adjust to reading outdated language, but then once you adjust, then you can the book can communicate with you and you can engage with it. It's the same with music. Jazz music, like the golden era of jazz music, is decades old and very, very different than modern pop music, and so it does take a little bit of like getting into. You gotta like stew in it a little bit. You gotta learn about the people involved. Learning about the characters of jazz history goes a long way to enjoying jazz, because a lot of that, I mean, a lot of what's fun about listening to a jazz record is knowing, like, oh, that's Philly Joe Jones on drums. I can tell because he's playing this. You know what I mean? Like, knowing kind of the different people involved. And because it wasn't like there were bands. 60s rock, there were bands that just had a set lineup. And that was cool, too, for a different reason. But jazz was all about individualism, all about the individuals. And so every record, you know, would have a different lineup. You know, oh, it's cool. You hear Hank Mobley play with Art Blakey, and then you get to hear him play with, you know, this other drummer, and see how their interactions change. Like, that stuff is really cool. And then, of course, you do have, like, the consistent band lineups that there are in jazz history became huge because they were able to sort of delve deeper into their musical philosophy, having a more consistent lineup of people, like the great Miles Davis quintets and the John Coltrane quartet and everything. But yeah, it's like learning about the history is really interesting, and it helps you enjoy the music more. And if you understand sort of the structure of like head, solos, head, it's not a hard structure to understand, but knowing what to expect from the music makes it easier to listen to. But if you just come in cold, yeah, I totally get it. Sounds like noise. It's like, why is everyone screaming? Why is everyone playing everything at the same time? I don't get it. Scatting is much harder than it sounds. That's true. And I think, you know, it's tough to sound good scatting too. So it's, you know, that's like bebop pan flute. It's like you're choosing a hard thing to try to make work here, bud. But more power to you, I guess. Where the heck are we now, eh? Okay, hold on. Oh, I still got to fill in all this stuff. Okay. You got me sidetracked talking about jazz. Now I'm lost here. Okay. Oh, it's just the 4. Okay. So I shouldn't have added 2 bars. I should have taken away 2 bars. Let's see here. Okay. So I'll take this away, add the little pickup in the melody. And then, okay, so I think these rhythms are right. So now I just need to I'm not going to double check the percussion. I'm too tired. I hope it's right, because it is what it is. Let's see. I always put it as, can you tell if someone's speaking angry or nicely if they spoke in a language you don't speak? Oh, that's true. People say German sounds angry, but they could be saying very nice things to you. That's true, but you also can tell if someone's yelling at you in German versus, like, you know, you might not, you know, the communication range is smaller or less subtle. You can't get much subtlety at all if you don't speak the language. But if someone's screaming at you versus, like, smiling at you, you get that. So that is a funny thing. Or, like, yeah, you're not going to get all the intricacies of a music style that you're totally unfamiliar with on the first listen, but you'll probably get the general vibe. That's an in for you to try and get deeper into it. Enough enriching our cultural critical thinking. Go back to the transcription salt mines. Yeah. Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. I have a question. Do you plan to make a video about drums again? I really enjoyed the video on writing for drums, and maybe a part 2 talking about brushes and mallets would be cool. Oh, that'd be fun. It's like, yeah, it's one of these things where I could talk about drums for a long time, but I don't know if I have anything in particular to talk about that is relevant at all to my YouTube following, you know. But, you know, I'm sure I gotta find like a soundtrack that's very drum heavy and then use that as an excuse to just talk about drums. But I need like an idea, one sort of idea to talk about, I guess, to base it around. Maybe it's not the most fun piece of music to listen to, though, but it's very lulling and escalating and all that. Anyways, I just wanted to have your point of view on it. Oh, yeah. No prob. Nintendo uses mallet percussion profusely. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Lots of marimba stuff. You know what's a great tune is that the Forgotten Island in Mario Odyssey, the one that's in 15.8 or 13.8 or whatever it's in. I don't know if that has mallet percussion in it, actually. Kind of feels like it does, but... Oh! The pan flute bass line is gone. Does it just come in for the vamp at the end here? Yeah, it does. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. So this is E flat. Steel Pan, that's what it is. Goron, the Goron, Ocarina of Time, Goron City music. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. That's marimba. What MIDI do I use? The Sibelius Sounds, just default. I find if you, it makes you put in articulations and dynamic markings for it to sound anything close to good, which is good practice. You know, you should be specifying that stuff in your music as much as you can anyway, so. Okay, so so then this is D minor, right? Let's see. I think it's D minor 7. I'm hearing a 7 in there. These are not accented really. What is this? Yeah, okay. And then this we can... This is going to be C minor 7. I can hear the 7. And then back to D minor 7. Hopefully the same rhythm here. Let's see. Not the same rhythm. That's okay. Don't get down, down. Oh, wait a second. I screwed something up there. Okay, so all of these bars have the same rhythm. Okay, nice. And then we're at our C major bit, which we have. Let's make sure that that's right. That's C7 actually, isn't it? Oops, messing something up. Oh, that's the major 7th right on top there. A flat major 7. So colorful. Maybe I should do it like this, and then we can have 4 bars of one chord on the same staff. Okay. And then we can put these 4 bars on the same staff. Okay, or on the same line, I mean, not the same staff. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Now, the one thing that I didn't think about is that these slashes are going to make it so my transcription doesn't sound right. You know, it's losing a lot. the bass. Oh, those bass fills. Nice. So sick. So sick. Why did it get so loud all of a sudden? Oops, I didn't mean to put that there. Alright, sounds good to me. This might be a bit personal, but does your partner also have a background in music? Are they a completely different field? Does music play a role in your relationship? Yeah, we went to jazz school together, actually. My wife is a trumpet player. She's very helpful. She has great handwriting. She does all the like markup arrows and things on my sheet music for me because my handwriting is atrocious. And then she's a perfect person to bounce ideas off of because she's been to music school. Like, she knows the stuff, but she was never a theory person, like never theory minded. And so she's a perfect like soundboard. I always pitch ideas to her and bounce stuff off her, and it's kind of like, if she finds it interesting, then I know it's actually interesting and not just interesting because I'm a big nerd, you know, like there's something to it. So yeah, she helps a lot. And she is quite musical. Yeah, okay. I'm tired. I'm out of here. So, thank you guys for checking out the stream. This is a lot of fun. I'm excited for the return of Wind Waker Wednesday on Wednesday morning. Let's rock. Let's continue to rock going forward. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming to hang out. See you next week. Oh, come check out my show on the 30th if you live in Winnipeg. And see you next week.